Hello, my name is Melody from melodycrochet.com, and I'm coming to you today to share my recipe for a half double crochet beanie. I've made a lot of half double crochet beanies, probably in the thousands, and I do it without putting much thought into it at this point, so I had to actually go back and think, what is it you do? Now, I always start with an eye hook. I just like the way the eye hook works on worsted weight yarn. Some people would say J, but especially if you're going to be sewing anything on that hat, you don't want it gappy. Plus, having a nice plush hat from a smaller hook is always nice. If I'm making a hat plain, just making a beanie, I love to go with I Love This yarn from Hobby Lobby or Red Heart Soft. But it does tend to smoosh down. It's a lofty plush yarn. Both of them are. And when you sew on it, it tends to compress and you can see the stitches just a little bit more. So whenever I'm making a character hat, I always go Red Heart Super Saver. Plus they're never out of colors. There's a color for everything in Red Heart Super Saver, especially if you get on the internet to order. It's insane. So many colors. And most of the colors are available so easily at my Walmart, so easy peasy. I'll leave a link down below for all of those yarns in case you're curious as to what they are. Also for my hook. Let's get started. Let's start with the materials. We're going to need an eye hook or a size 9 5.5 millimeter hook, some scissors and a needle to snip after fasten off and work in the ends, and a tape measure. You're going to want to tape measure around and check your gauge. My gauge is usually between 3 and 3.5 stitches per inch. And also the hat in general, if you go for the young adult size hat, unstretched, it's going to be about 18 inches around the rim, so 9 inches across. The medium would be about 21 inches around, so 10.5 inches across. And the large would be about 23 inches around, or what's that, 11.5 inches across. So this will come in handy, just in case you want to check. Let me grab my yarn. Here it is. I'm going to be using some size 4 yarn. I usually go with I Love This yarn. Let me grab an I Love This yarn hat here. So I usually use I Love This yarn. Ooh, that is bright. But today I felt like making myself a hat. So this is also size 4 worsted weight. This is Vanna's Choice by Lion Brand in turquoise. And I love this color. Nobody else needed a hat right now. It is July. So I decided to be a little bit of a selfish crocheter and make myself a hat. I'll be making a medium, but I'll be telling you where to start and stop to make yourself a small or large if that is necessary. We're going to start with a magic ring. You're going to hold on to the tail between your index and your thumb. Go downward, go under, go upward, grab the yarn. Make sure it's a little bit of slack. You don't want to be fighting with your yarn ever. On the finger that's farther away from you, go under, grab the yarn, pull under, twist, grab that working yarn and chain twice. Now pinch at the base of that first chain so you don't lose it, and half double crochet 9 times. I'm not counting that as a chain for right now. I'm not counting the chain as a stitch for right now. We're going to do 9 actual half double crochets over the double length. So yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull under everything on the hook. Yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull under all 3, and do that until you have 9 half double crochets. Oops. Awesome. Take your tail, you're going to cinch it closed, but don't yank it just yet. You'll get to yank the tail closed more after a couple rows. It'll be a little bit more stable. Now, make sure that you count 9 stitches back because that's where you're going to place your slip stitch. If you keep on working over the first half double crochet of the row, you shouldn't have much spiraling. Not that that's an issue for me. I've never been bothered by that, but some people do like to avoid that. So just make sure you're working over the first stitch of the row. Chain 2, not counting that as a half double crochet. You're going to increase in all or 9 half double crochets of the previous row. There's 1 increase, so you're just half double crocheting twice in each stitch. My puppy is snoring. It's summer. It's Texas. It's hot. This is nap time for them. That's my Pickles. And last one. There we have 9 half double crochet increases in a circle. So that's 18 stitches total. Maybe cinch that a little bit more closed, or you could wait till the end. No harm, no foul. Now you find the top of that first half double crochet, slip stitch into it, chain 2. We're going to increase again, so this is going to be our second increase row. We're going to half double crochet once all by itself, and then half double crochet, increase. You're going to do that all the way across. So at the end of this row, you'll have 27 stitches. So half double crochet and half double crochet, increase all the way across. And there we have it. There's the end of row 3. We have 27 stitches. We're going to slip stitch at the top of the first half double crochet of this row, chain 1 and chain 2. Half double crochet once in the same stitch you chained up from, half double crochet all by itself in the next stitch. My yarn is fighting me. There we go. And then increase. So 2 half double crochets in the third stitch. Again, 1 half double crochet in the first, 1 half double crochet in the second, increase half double crochet in the third stitch. There we go. And continue across. And there's our last increase. Slip stitch into the top of the first stitch of this row, chain 2, and now we're going to have a shaping row. Unlike these where you're having an increase for shaping rows, we just half double crochet one time in each stitch across. There was 36 stitches in the previous row, so you'll have 36 half double crochets at the end of this row. Half double crochet all the way across. This is going to keep it from being too flat on the top. There's a couple character hats that I've made that I keep it flat on the top. Mostly robot themed hats, but usually I like a little shaping. Some I'll shape even more, because if you do a shaping row every so often, more often than this, you end up with a cone, like every other row. And that's good for some things. I am super excited. I ordered a new shelf for my yarn stash. I got the email, it is in the mail. I'm so excited. But sadly, that means my yarn stash is misplaced right now. It's all in totes. There's nothing sadder than a crocheter without her stash. Okay, there is our 36 stitches all the way around. Slip stitch into the top of the first half double crochet of the row, chain 2, and now we need another increase row. We're going to be going for 1, 2, 3 half double crochets followed by an increase. And again, 1, 2, 3, and an increase. And you're going to do that all the way across. And here we are after our last increase. We're going to slip stitch into the first stitch of the row, chain 2. We now have 45 stitches around, and we're going to increase again. So half double crochet 1, and then once in the next for the first 4, and then increase. And again, 4 half double crochets just by themselves, and then increase. back for our last increase stitch. Slip stitch into the top of the first half double crochet, chain 1 and 2. Now if you are going for an 18-inch hat, this is going to do it for you. You're just going to be working up after this, and I'll show you how to do that after I show everybody how to do the medium and the large, but you won't need to do any more increase rounds. So I'm going to be doing the medium for myself, and that means we're going to need one more row of increases. So half double crochet and do that in 1, 1 half double crochet in 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then increase all the way around. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and increase. You're going to do that all the way around, and you will have 63 at the end of this row. I'll meet you there. Awesome. Last increase of the row. Slip stitch into the top of the first stitch of the row and chain 2. Now we're all done increasing for a medium. If you need one more increase, we are first going to do a shaping round. So let me show you. Regardless of what you're doing, whether you're doing a medium or a large, you are going to half double crochet 1 time all the way around. That's going to leave us with 63 stitches at the end of this row. It's very easy for a large hat like that to look really big, so I find the extra row of shaping gives it a nice roundness. Alrighty, here we are with the last stitch of the row. We've gone around and done 1 stitch in each all the way around. It was a shaping row if you're the large. It was a first row around crocheting evenly if you were a medium, because we are at 63 stitches around right now. Now you do need to increase one more time if you're doing the extra large. Let me show you what that looks like. You're going to slip stitch into the first stitch of the previous row, chain 2, half double crochet into the base of your chain 2, and in the next 5. So 6 plain half double crochets. And then an increase. And you're going to do that 9 times all the way around your hat, and you'll end up with 72 stitches. Now, I'm not going to be doing that because I'm stopping at medium. And for those of us that are at medium or at small, you're going to pick up, or if you're doing the large hat, after you hit that 72 and then slip stitch chain 2, you're going to continue on like this. You're just going to half double crochet 1 time in each stitch around until we hit the length that we want. Every few rows you can go ahead and count, make sure you're not getting off anywhere, but as a rule I tend to just eyeball it. I don't tend to get away from my stitch numbers very often. And I know about what it looks like when I should be stopping a row. But if you're worried, go ahead and count every 2. So like I was saying, small will have 54 stitches across, medium will have 63 stitches across, large will have 72 stitches across. Now if you are making a small hat, go ahead and make your hat straight. So you're going to crochet straight until it measures about 8 inches, unless you want it particularly slouchy. I would aim for 8 for a young adult hat. And being the medium, I'm going for 9 inches. So right now it's measuring 4 inches at 10 rows long. That tells me I'm probably going to go until I'm about 22 rows, because double this would be 8 inches, and I'll still need about 2 more rows to get to 9. So you'll have about 20 rows total if you're doing the small. You'll have about 22 if you're doing the medium, and you'll have about 24, 25 rows if you're doing the large. And I will show you what to do to finish this off at the end as soon as I catch up. So go ahead and just half double crochet once in each stitch across. Then you'll do the same slip stitch into the top of the first half double crochet of the row and chain 2. And then start all over until you hit the length of the hat that you want. Feel free to make it more or less slouchy as you like, and I will meet you there. See you in a sec. Alrighty, here's the last stitch of the row. I ended up just doing 21. It was more than long enough, so I stopped. The 20 rows for small, 22 rows for medium, 24 rows for large. If you feel like you want to do it differently, of course you can, feel free. But that's just a general guideline to get you to the length that you might be looking for, just in case you don't have the head that you're trying to fit with you. But let's continue on here. Oops, I accidentally chained twice. So you're going to slip stitch into the first stitch of the row, and then chain 1. And this is just going to be, see, the half double crochet is kind of a loose stitch. We want to tighten that just a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and single crochet all the way across. So I slip stitch into the top of the first stitch of the row, chain 1, and right there, right by that chain 1, I'm going to single crochet. And I'm going to do that all the way across. This is really nice. It just gives it some shape. It keeps it from flaring out at the bottom quite so much. It's just a nice finish. You can compare the edges. See, there's that one. It kind of flares out a bit. And there's that single crochet, and it's just going to hold its shape a little bit better. Okay, we've come to the end of this row. Right there, I've got my little gap open. There's the top of the first single crochet. Have a little gap between, but we're going to close that up anyway, just because we want it nice and secure. After I slip stitch that, you might notice I gave it a little yank just to make sure it's nice and close, and then I'm going to finish off. Go ahead and grab your scissors. Don't need a long tail, just a medium one. Thread that into your yarn needle, head inside. There's my little seam. It hardly shows. That's because I did a chain 2. If I had done a chain 1, that wouldn't show. Also, if I had counted the chain as the first stitch, it also wouldn't show. But I just like the outside look better with a chain 2, just personally. So it depends. Do you want it to look better inside or outside? Some people really do prefer having a nice clean inside. They just judge the whole project by it. I totally respect that, but I really like the gumption of the fabric when I do a chain 2 and don't count it as the first stitch. So here I am. I'm just going in right beside that tail, right under, and I'll work to the left a little bit, and then I'll go back up for a few. Then I'll work to the left a little bit. Just getting under one thread everywhere I go. Then turn it around, give it a yank so we're not causing any puckering of the fabric outside. And then don't go in the same way you came in. At least have one stitch over. And go in that way. And that's plenty for me. I've never had one come out there. And that is our half double crochet beanie. It's the ugly side. There we go. There's the front. Well, thanks guys for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed. Please go look down below. You'll see the link to the free PDF pattern for this at my blog, melodycrochet.com. Also down below, you'll see the links to my social media. I'm over on Instagram, Snapchat, Ravelry. We have a crochet group. Come see me at the blog for any free patterns that I do. I put out usually about one a week. If you have any questions or comments, leave those down below. I check frequently to see if anybody has anything to find out. Thanks so much for stopping by. I hope you like your hat. Let me have a peek if you do finish one. Link me over on social media. And until next time, guys, I'll see you soon. Bye.